It is true. There's an easier and a harder to reaching the next generation. Let me start with the easier. Sometimes we fear or we feel this burden that if we're going to be effective as pastors, Christians, parents, we need to have this cultural expertise. You need to know what Taylor Swift is singing about. In fact, my kids will just say, Dad, please don't ever mention Taylor Swift in a sermon. Just you don't know what you're talking about. Or at a more sophisticated level, we have to understand what's being put out in the New Yorker or what is critical theory. Look, those things do matter, so don't hear me saying that. And we need some people, at least with some of it, not as much the pop culture end of things, but we need people who really can help us understand how did we get here, how do we dissect things. But the fear is that we'll be so tied up in knots. I can't possibly reach the next generation because I don't understand how TikTok works. I don't know what they're into. And people then almost do the worst thing, which is try to make an awkward cultural connection that just seems like an old guy or middle-aged guy trying too hard. So I want to say to people, it's easier than all that. But here's the harder. Love people. I think in a good way, many Christians are trying to use cultural connection as a shortcut for the harder work of love. Meaning, what are you trying to do? At best, you're trying to make those cultural connections to say, I care about you, I want to understand your world, I'm somebody who you can trust, who you can listen to. And again, some of that is okay. But much more important is, are you the sort of person who invites people into your home? Do you give people the gift of your curiosity? That's what, when we've all known people who even at very old age can be very instrumental in the life of someone very young. And they don't know what they're, in fact, sometimes it's kind of refreshing, but they love them. And there's wisdom. So it's easier in that you don't have to have a PhD in cultural apologetics. And it's harder, but also better. And that what God calls us to do is to love them, to speak the truth to the next generation, to be the sort of person whose life is marked by holiness. 2 Peter says, if you have these godly qualities in your life in increasing measure, you will not be ineffective or unfruitful. If you are a growing godly Christian, you can be effective in ministering to other people and leading other people to know Christ and follow Christ. And that's the good news. And that's what's easier and harder, but better than we might think.